Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of the Borderlands. How's everybody doing today? Always. We're already getting shit talked before the stream even starts. Good morning, Warsight.
I've got another job for you. Stop on by.
Oh man, that's why the starting soon screen is there, man. No streamer. Look, okay, it's part of the streamer culture. I'm told. Apparently, there's only like 5% of streamers that are punctual, and the rest are all always late to anything. Whether it's an event involving other streamers, whether it's a simple thing as just gathering with you know, on a Discord server. That simple act is a Herculean task, a Sisyphean task for a normal streamer. So I'm simply starting to get ready to, you know, mingle with the crowd and make sure that, you know, if I'm 20 minutes early to an event, I should be waiting around an hour and 20 minutes for the event to actually start. Okay, it's about my mental health. It's about knowing that whenever I make it up to the big leagues, you know, every time I'm over there at TwitchCon in the VIP lounge. Oh man, that's a thing that I don't think I would ever participate in, and I don't know, right? You can't don't say never or whatever. But I don't think I don't think I have what it takes to go to like a massive event like that, man. Like already the anxiety is so high that going to an event like that would just make me die. I think. So especially as someone who doesn't want to show their face too much, right? And again, it's not impossible for people out there in the world to find out what I look like. It's simply me wanting a little bit of a privacy. Especially as I spout all of these very controversial opinions, such as I think billionaires are bad. You know, I don't want to go out to any public party out there and see a bunch of red dots rising up from my chest slowly to my forehead. Oh, baby, we are. Do I still have? No, I've drunk it all. You guys ever, you know, in the middle of possibly a canned drink, and you know you're taking sips every now and then suddenly you pick it up and it's completely empty, and you're surprised with yourself. You're like, I don't remember finishing that. That's what it feels like for me. many times I've gone, you know, I've prepared my muscle structure to handle the massive weight of like 200 grams of liquid, and as I lift the can, it is entirely empty, and there's that like wave of sadness that washes over your entire being. Oh no, my drinkies is gone. Oh, and then you know, it's a momentary feeling, but it you know, in many ways, things that don't last forever last the longest. Is that anything? Is this anything? Oh, sorry, get spawn camped, bozo. So today, you know what the plan is. I want an Unforgiven masher. That's the plan. Or just simply a level appropriate masher, because right now we're rocking a level 42, and don't get me wrong, it's a hard purple, which means the stats on it are pretty good. But I want either a level 69, nice masher, or a red masher. A red masher would be pretty good as well. Alternatively, an Unforgiven masher. That's the main goal. That I would simply, you know, I won't say murder for legal reasons. That's a joke, but I would definitely say hold, give me a second. I would definitely say I would commit certain crimes to guarantee myself a. Do we have rocket ammo? We're not full. Topic discussion: achievements, grinding achievements, good or bad? There's an achievement in TCG Shop Sim that's open 10,000 packs. Oof. Yeah. So we've been down this. Okay, first, okay, before we get into these discussions, give me 2 seconds. I need to workshop a new being down this road before. I think we've oh, you we've boarded this blimp before. It's always gonna be like the same cadence message, but I like the blimp. I think blimps are majorly forgotten ever since what was it, the Walter White burned down or something like that. We've sucked this one up before. You know what? Unironically, I kind of like that. Maybe I'm a little unhinged this early in the morning, but we might stick with that one. So we've sucked this one off before, but grindy achievements. I'm of two minds about it, right? So it depends on the grind. The music is so loud. Give me a second to exit this portion of the map, because at this point I'm so far away and you're still playing music. I wish I could. You know what I need to do? Okay, you know what? Let's do a little bit of sound mastering right now. Everybody get ready to have your socks blown off, okay? We're about to go into audio. We're about to do... Let me just... Ooh. Okay. Let me mute the stream. There we go. So let's do... Oh my god, it is real loud. I can't think. My brain physically can't make it. So let's put you, say, around 20 now. Okay. And then... Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah. This is nice. This is nice. Now we might be able to put the music back up whenever it's like passive audio and something like that. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. This will work for now. And welcome back to the audio. Ooh, you know what? I can even up it a little bit now. Yeah, baby. Okay. Yeah, so we've sucked this one up before, but so to give an example here, let's get this this achievement overlay over. So, and I'll take, you know, the game that I'm playing right now as an example. So my problem with achievements is depends on how easily attainable the grind is, right? So with something like this bobblehead stuff or these panties, right? You see how little people have gotten these achievements? It's because they, like, 15 claptrap bobbleheads, like these 3 achievements over here are amongst the bottom, I think 10 or something, because I think I've gotten some rarer achievements. Maybe not, these are already in order. So whenever it's a random chance of something dropping and you need to have like 1 million of them, it honestly, it's PTSD World of Warcraft for me, okay? Let's distill the idea from achievements to just the basic form of it being something you have to fulfill, right? Let's add a little bit of, or let's take a little bit of the sauce off and let's see what's underneath, you know? Let's see the fries that are underneath all of the curry sauce. So these fries in particular, it takes me back to World of Warcraft days. Whenever, you know, you have to get just 10 wolf teeth, which, you know, you would think, oh, so I just need to kill like 1 wolf and I'll extract all of its teeth, right? No, motherfucker, because guess what? Each time you kill a wolf, apparently all of your attacks, unbeknownst to you, are aiming squarely onto their fucking jawline. And so by the time you get to the wolf's corpse in World of Warcraft, you've blown off and you've like obliterated, you've ethered, you've Thanos snapped those teeth away, and you're lucky if you can even get 1 teeth. 1 tooth. You know, you're lucky if you can get a single tooth off the damn carcass of the wolf that you've just murdered. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you need 10 of them. So instead of having to kill, you know, like a wolf, you have to like kill 30 wolves because the drop chance is like 1%. So whenever anything is grindy and random chance of happening, that's whenever I'm a big hater, right? So again, it's not necessarily no. Oh yeah, we're gone. We're gone. But it's fine. It's fine. Is there a guy over here? No. So yeah, that's problem numero uno, right? So, but if an achievement is, you know, grindable and long, then it presents itself another issue of, is it boring, right? So I imagine a game like, you know, the example you gave here is TCG, where you have to open 1,000 packs. Maybe once you've gotten in those 1,000 packs, if you get all of the cards, because I know there's a secondary thing, right? You need to pile things up so that while you're doing an achievement, there's stuff that's also happening that it's great that it would happen anyways. And it's something you'd have to open 1,000 or 10,000 packs for anyways. But it's nice that, you know, it will recognize you doing like several types of laborious work at once, right? So I know that in TCG Simulator, there's like what, 1,000 cards to collect or something like that, right? 1,042, because they figured out the meaning of life or whatever. And so 1,000 times, is that translatable? Shit. Okay. Yeah, get me. I'm totally fine with this. So I consent. Thank you. Okay. And so, you know, you're gonna have the want, the hedonic treadmill trap of wanting to get all of the cards. At least I would. All the cards anyway, right? Collect all cards. And so you might need to open 10,000 packs for that alone, right? And so it's kind of like a double whammy of, well, I need to get 10,042 packs anyway. Are both of these badasses? They are. Shit. Hold. Give me a second. We're about to make it to Narnia. Oh, let's go. So yeah, so in that particular case, it's okay to me. But whenever it's grindy and boring, so let's take a real life example. Let's go back to Grounded, a game that me and Warzide 100%ed. One of the achievements, so there's a couple, right? And again, this also goes down to how well developed the game is, I think. If you're not running into a lot of issues with the game itself, you're gonna have a better time. And I think that's like a given. I think I picked up one yellow little guy, or white little guy. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Perfect. So one of the achievements that was annoying to get, not necessarily grindy, was to kill all of the robots, right, in that game. The problem is that it's such a common occurrence that the guides on Steam say usually there are 2 robots that glitch out of bounds and you have to like toss the grenades in a specific location to be able to get the kill. That's annoying as heck, right? As frick. It's frigging with 2 G's. It's frigging annoying. Because then you're removing my ability to like naturally get the achievement, right? You're by naturally I mean, you know, you're adding another level of not complexity per se, but of annoyance, of contrivance, of me having to go outside. I should never have to go outside of the game to figure out how to do an achievement, unless it's like a secret achievement or something, right? And again, even then, this is what it keeps a little bit of the gaming community alive outside of games, right? Which I think is fun in a way. It gets a discussion. Whoops. It gets a that door closed on me and I forgot the code. It creates a community outside of games, right? It's always great to have guides. You know, you guys remember back in the day whenever you'd open a game and there would be like a little guide for the game about like the different mechanics you might not know about like different little things, different, you know what I'm talking about, like little tidbits that you would have perhaps not otherwise known of before. These are before the days of internet, right? Now internet's kind of got that shit figured out and the devs don't even bother with it anyways because it's just a waste of time. But back then, whenever devs cared about video games and their gamers, not everybody can be Ubisoft blaming the gamers for their downfall. it bred a little sense of community, right? And then it would give us like uh little rumors, right? You guys remember the rumors about the 13th Colossus in Shadow of the Colossus? That was like a cool little thing, right? Like, oh, you have to like do this and do this and fulfill all of these different criteria to have the 13th Colossus appear, right? And I think that that's very fun. So again, grindy doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It simply means that it's it needs a little bit of communication outside of the game, go socialize a little bit, which, as someone who doesn't like socializing, and especially not being forced to socialize, I'm a little bit of a fan of, right? I like it whenever games give you that, look, if you want to know more about the game, you might need to get out a little bit, ask around, interact with other human beings, which is cool. Again, nothing that is forced is fun. But it breeds a little sense of community. That's all I'm saying. Oh, hello. Direct upgrade. Don't mind if I do. So yeah, that's the. So that's what I mean. So it was to get like 42 robots or something like that. It was something stupid. Reload speed. That's not really what we're looking for. And so yeah, whenever I went to those locations and I threw grenades in those spots, surprise, surprise, we got the achievement for killing all the robots. But that was annoying, and that's a game failure in terms of like the engine or whatever, the collision box not working properly. So tying achievements to things that break and break so often that people make guides with it breaking in mind rather than you being able to complete it au natural. Annoying, right? Very annoying. Now, whenever the achievement is flat out boring to do, the other achievement that this game had was to do all of the. Wait, is this better? I think this might be better than the sniper class mode I have. Whenever the achievement asks you to do, the other achievement was there's these base defense achievements in Grounded, where you have to you go to these beacons, and the beacons will attract several baddies over to your direct location, and you have to build a little fortress of sorts to defend it. At some point it just becomes boring because it's not about really, especially if you're playing like, I don't even want to get into the discourse of doing all of those achievements in the hard mode of the game. There's just no point to them because of the bullet sponginess. That's like a topic that we can get into after this. But yeah, so you need to create a whole fortress around the beacons, and it takes time to set up. And by the time you're doing like there's I don't know 20 to 30 in the game. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but that's how long it felt. It just gets monotonous, right? You're just pretty much building. You by the fifth one, you find out what is the best build. You build several layers so that by the time whenever they all come around, you don't really have to pay that much attention. You just kill like a couple, and if some of them make it through the walls, it's fine. Ooh, Savior? Savior, hello, welcome to the party. Welcome to the legendary collectathon. Well, yeah. Oh, no, that's a raven. They break through a couple barriers. It's no biggie because you've accounted for it because you have so much experience at this point. That's what I mean. So, yeah, grindy bad achievements, bad. Grindy achievements that correlate with like several other achievements is okay. Because then let's say, picking back up on the TCG simulator example, if we look at, if by pack 9,000th you have all 1,042 cards, then the last 1,000 can be a drag, right? But it took you most of the way. And so now, you've opened 9,000 packs until now, maybe 1,000 more isn't that bad. And that's the whole point of the game as well, right? Like, you're playing the game because you want to open packs for the most part, not only sell stuff, right? And so there's like a degree of of an excuse there to put big achievements in games where all you're doing is the one thing. But whenever it's, you know, if it relies on RNG, not good. Not good whatsoever. It is catastrophic. If you put a grindy achievement in that you can't guaranteed every single time you play the game, you can't guarantee that you'll be making progress towards it, right? Like, if I launched Borderlands now, and again, it would be very unlucky of me, right, to go over to the Claptrap DLC and in 5 hours of streaming or a session of gaming or whatever, only like, you know, 1 bubblehead drops or 0, then I'll feel pretty bad, right? Because man, like, you know, it's grinding achievements just aren't fun whenever they're random. But if you can guarantee, like, okay, if I play this game today for 5 hours, I know that I'm gonna get like X amount or X percentage of the achievement done, then it's fine because you know you can make progress every time. Yeah, I think that rounds out like some of the edge cases. Oh damn, dude, some of these Iridium weapons look new, and then then it's just the same shit as always. So yeah, it's a nuanced topic. There's no, you know, there's no one size fits all discourse to the achievement game. But you know, as it is part of this playthrough in many ways, it's a very relevant question. Penetrator, hello. We have acquired you before, but critical hit damage, huh? You know, it's the same. Let's. What's my other penetrator? That's fine because 180% crit damage. Crit damage is something we kind of want in our weapons. That's why we're looking for the Unforgiven right now. Skull Masher. I think I have 2 Skull Mashers. I need to like. Huh. I don't know where the other penetrator is. Oh, hold. Nah. I think I want a scavenger class mod that gives ammo regen in case we're ever in rocket launcher trouble. But yeah, great question, Warzite. Thank you so much. Yeah. And to go back on like the, you know, the MMO discourse of grind, look. It's a complicated topic, right? I think we talked about it like a few sessions ago, and I don't know how far we got, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. But I would like to see games. Hold on. I would like to see games or MMOs doing achievements in a way that is never mind. Yeah, we explored that topic quite a bit before. Good luck finding whatever video that's on, because I don't even think I named it appropriately. There's nothing new to be garnered there. We've squeezed out all the juice from the juice tree. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? We've climbed up the coconut tree and broken all of them and drunk all of the water. Is this an analogy? I guess in its basic sense, it's an analogy. Hello. You guys ever... I know many of you have. Speaking of World of Warcraft, those elevators in the Undercity, man, they're tricky. Ooh. Another Red Anarchy, huh? Don't think I'm a big fan of you, but it's cool to see ya. Don't get me wrong. Oh man, and what was I looking at before as well? No. I'm trying to think more. We talked briefly about like bullet sponginess, right? Difficulty becoming Hornet. Wait, I've gotten a Hornet before, right? Ain't no way I don't. Ain't no way I don't. That's right. Look, we've sucked this one up. We've sucked this one off before. whenever it comes down to difficulty in games, and this is something that I imagine I'm going to talk about again. Oh my god. I looked away for half a second. OP 9 and 10 in Borderlands 2 are useless, right? OP 8 is the last time where, you know, that's how good guns are gonna get. OP 9 and 10 don't really do much, like, they don't do anything to the gun damage. It only gives you like a cool little text saying that you acquired that gun at OP 10. But all that really does is just give like enemies an inordinate amount of health and damage, right? Which I think a game is fun hard. Wait. Stay with me, stay with me. I think a game's difficulty is fun whenever you can adjust the difficulty in a way that isn't cheesing, right? And this is coming from a guy who loves to cheese, okay? I'm a big cheese maxer, okay? In many ways, and in many ways I'm not. Don't get it twisted. And so, you know, if I get an opportunity to get a boss stuck or stopping working, I'll, you know, in my private time, I'll take it. I think I've done it in this playthrough as well, so maybe in public I'll also do it, because I have no shame. But whenever you start, like, you know, I know I keep bringing, let's compare something like Dark Souls, right? Where there's not necessarily a higher difficulty, it's just a game that requires a bit of skill, right? So it's difficult innately instead of it being bloated. I think that players feel more satisfaction from beating a game in a hard difficulty whenever that hard difficulty isn't just adding number percentages extra. I think if the difficulty adds maybe, you know, new moves that enemies can do, and so that you have to adapt in different ways. Now, do I have a game in mind? No, but I'm sure that they exist. I need to get out. I'm sure that they exist where, you know, when you amp it up, enemies suddenly do some stuff maybe a little quicker, maybe a little bit more different, maybe part of their kits get revealed. A game that is kind of like that, but isn't the example I'm looking for, is, you know, if you go in World of Warcraft, in your raiding, each raid tier, the enemies do more things and more strange things. Now, their health does go up as well, but it's simply then somewhat of a gear check, right? They just want to make sure that you're playing the game and not any bozo that walks in can do it. That's what the race has, like, that whole, like, implication. The race to world first, I mean, has that whole implication of you know, guilds going into debt to be able to afford buying and equip purples that drop in raids, just so they are item level requirement to start trying out for the mythic raid, right? And so there is a little bit of fun in difficulty with, you know, adding new things that enemies can do. I think it adds a level of prestige, right? Like, oh yeah, you might have beat the boss, you know, it's a hard boss innately, but also you have not beaten the boss with his ability to, you know, whoop, suck you all off at once, right? Ooh, that was pretty far. So we do this, correct? Yes. Oh, hello. Hold. Alright, cool. And so games difficulty is fun if that's the case. However, you know, if we bring grounded into it, or if we bring grounded into it, or I think the Division as well, the Division 2, more the Division 1 maybe, because I played Division 2 at max level and with plenty of difficulty settings on, and it definitely wasn't as bad as Division 1, right? Division 1 was simply a bullet sponge, like literally, because all you're doing is shooting bullets. It was a bullet sponge simulator, right? Where the higher difficulty you got, the more enemies would just stake. Nothing about it was harder, or other than you need to like hide behind a cover more, which isn't, look, that isn't engaging, right? Like, just add like new enemy types or whatever each time the difficulty goes up, you know. For example, here's an example, and I know it's also a bad not a great example because there's also a level of bullet sponginess to the game, but Payday, right? Payday 2 or Payday 2, I guess, is the example since I have more playtime on that one. In Payday 2, you have enemies that only appear in higher difficulties, right? Like the guys that go invisible and like come over and do some martial arts to kick your butt. They only appear either very infrequently at lower difficulties or just more often in higher difficulties, right? And so what does that do in terms of gameplay? Maybe you want to do the missions a little bit stealthier, you know? Wait a longer period of time before you incur the wrath of those enemies. Because the longer the match goes on with enemies coming, the more harder enemies come over and the more their ability to swarm you, right? And so, you know, it adds a fun part. Now is the rest of the game a little bit of bullet sponginess, and so like you're very influenced to try to do missions in a specific pattern or with a specific strategy in mind. Yeah, but it's not impossible to complete the missions otherwise, right? It's just a little difficult. So yeah, difficulty in games as well. It's another thing that adds another layer to it. It's you want games that are attainable and difficulty to be fun. Whenever you know, there are some games out there that are like beat the game with in X difficulty. I'm not a huge fan of that, man. It's just not, because it's, you know, you're essentially saying for people who like to complete like all achievements that people have to play on the hardest difficulty unless they want to do multiple playthroughs. And look, unless your game is amazing, like for example Borderlands, right? Very easy to do multiple playthroughs in Borderlands, simply due to the nature of the game. You know, weapons being different each time around, being different strategies, having all of these different characters you can play, right? There's something there for Borderlands to have different achievements in regards to its difficulty, and especially in regards to like different characters, right? That's fine. But again, in Grounded, the difficulty didn't really add much, and finishing the game on higher difficulty, it's essentially like you just rush the story, you get that done, and then you just go down and do everything else. It's just not engaging otherwise. It's just not good, man. It's not good. Gaming, all the budding devs out there watching this extremely engaging content of me opening chests over and over again. Put some sauce in your higher difficulties, okay? Now, this is not to say that your enemies don't deserve more health. You can absolutely put more health in enemies. Just don't make that like the only thing, okay? That's all I'm saying. Put you know, and I don't know if I'm gonna give an example, but I don't know if it's true because I barely follow their progress. There's a single dev out there, or solo dev, I should say. Single is another connotation entirely. There's a solo dev out there making a super cool game, amazing art style, and amazing concept as well. The entire game is like musically induced. Definitely not the right word. Musically inclined. So like enemies, whenever they attack you, whenever you attack enemies, you guys throw like music notes at one another, and it's kind of like an orchestra Souls game, right? Where you go and you fight the enemies. There's always a music in the background going off, and the music in the background dictates like what kind of dictate what kind of attacks the enemies do, and also the speed at which they attack, right? Because they always attack on beat. And if you want bonuses to your damage, you don't want to button mash. You also want to time your attacks with the beat of the music going on, right? Amazing concept. The art is amazing. Highly recommend you search those terms out there, because I have no idea. I don't have the source, dude. Just trust me. I don't have the source easily referenceable right now. So yeah, definitely do. You know what we can do? We can just run through this. Let's apply a little bit of speed to this. Ooh, hello. Man, they volcanoes and equalizers, huh? They are the bread and butter of this universe. Simple revolver. It's You ever think about the fact that whenever we die, your nutrients just go straight back to the it's I was talking about, you know, we're just made of fucking elements, right? And we can just alter our bodies with like injecting different vitamins, which are, you know, whatever vitamin iron is, it's straight up iron, right? Whenever our asses die, no, I'm not talking about spiritually, right? Like we're all inclined to our own way of the world whenever it comes to that particular instance of death. I'm talking more about the palpable effect that you're gonna have if you're buried under a tree, and you know, you're gonna change the compound of the ground so that the fucking cherry tree or orange tree that's planted there above you, and as the fucking roots intertwine with your bones, they'll you know, the orange will be slightly sweeter or slightly more tart. Let me through. Oh no! Oh! I'm gaming, baby. Like your body just goes back to the world, right? The same stardust that made you is the same stardust that you leave behind. Oh, as well. Look, there's certain parts of the argument that I'm not gonna get too much into, but I would like to talk about the root of it. So aliens, right? I had a little bit of a commenter, a little bit of a chatter in my I have gotten violated before, right? Yes. A chatter in the YouTube comments did not take kindly to me, and I thought I had gone into more detail, but maybe now we can follow this train of thought more cohesively. I said something along the lines of, and I was very succinct. I said, oh yeah, people who believe in aliens that are like these little green dudes, and then I interjected within myself and I said it's kind of like flat earthers, right? Now perhaps I was, you know, there was a bit of miscommunication or misunderstanding there. I don't mean that people who believe that aliens exist, and by the way, I don't think it's a belief. I definitely think it's a fact. There's no way we're the only like organisms in the world, in the universe, right? Like, I mentioned it a few minutes after. You know, aren't there things that live in nitrogen or whatever, like liquid nitrogen, or not liquid nitrogen, but like nitrogen gas, like they absorb nitrogen gas to live, right? Like, I got no doubt in my mind that there's an exoplanet somewhere out there in the universe with, like, you know, amoeba living in its oceans that have, like, you know, 80% sulfur content, right? Like, where there's a sun, where there are nutrients out, there will be something that evolves to absorb those nutrients, right? It's not that far-fetched to think. But the belief part, I guess, comes in whenever you think about aliens as just these, you know, little ovoid, little round dudes. Like their entire body is Booba from Booba and Kiki, which we can get into in a bit, I guess. So their bodies are just like these green blobs, or you know, they are made out of meat and bone like you and I, but they have a very, you know, rotundness to them. And all they're here to do is probe your ass. Look. Those guys is a little crazy, okay? But do I think there are intelligent enough creatures out there? Definitely could be. Extinct or otherwise. There could have been as well, right? Like, what? It only took Earth to give us to a point where we can play video games and stream it, like 4.5 billion years or whatever. To reach this stage, right? And the universe is a little older or a little newer than that, depending on who you ask, depending on the many brilliant minds out there. So could there have been already intelligent creatures in other planets in the universe? Of course. Can we prove that? Not particularly, but it's something that's a little difficult to prove. The odds of life happening are already infinitesimal, right? Like you gotta be pretty cracked out in the lottery of planet generation statistics and coding to emerge from the vat of what was it, volcanic pools under the ocean. Because that's the thing, right? Like cells got fused with what, different elements, like a little bit of iron, a little bit of oxygen, a little bit of chlorophyll, all bound together, and then suddenly we became a cell, right? Because technically we're all, like, life is a very moral thing, right? Like we're not really alive if you think about it, since we are just a bunch of elements strewn together. We've simply been given some form of sentience, I guess. Like we're iron that can, you know, choose when we've had too much iron. I keep going to iron because I'm not a biologist, okay? I don't know all of the different elements that we're composed of. We need to take a little bit of a breaky here. Just go straight up. Oh, I can't. I don't need to get up there, dude. We're racing now. You know what I'm talking about? So like the whole thing about life is a different scenario, right? So single-celled organisms, there's no doubt in my mind that those exist out there in some exoplanet, right? Simply because due to the fact that if it is primed to happen, it will, like, there's a huge. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. There's like a pretty good chance of it just happening, right? Without much fuss. Shit. Ah, shit. Okay. Without much fuss happening, right? Like